There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lads, why, they've seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was on the marge of Lake LaBarge when I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day we were mushing out over the Dawson Trail, and talk of your coal through the parka's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes were closed and the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see, it wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that night as we packed it tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me and said, "Cap," said he, "I'll cash in my trip this, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of a moan, "It's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold and I'm chilled clean through to the bone. You ain't being dead, that it's awful dread, the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." A pal's need is something he'd, and I swore I would not fail. And we stared at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day in his home of Tennessee, and before nightfall a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in the land of death, and I hurried horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brain and your bronze, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains." Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has made its stem-stowed. In the days have come till my lips were numb, and my heart how I cursed that load. It's a long, long night by the firelight, where the huskies round and ring, hauled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh God, how I loathe that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow, and on I went till the dogs were spent and the grub was running low. The trail was bad and I felt half mad, but I swore I'd not give in, and I'd often sing to that hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw a trace. It was called the Alice May. And I looked at it and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum, and I said, "Here I am, a sudden cry is my crematorium." Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and it leaped a few higher. The flames just soared and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so, and in heaven scowled and the huskies howled and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold and the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I do not know why. The greasy smoke and the inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about ere I ventured near. I was sick and dread, but I bravely looked. I take a peek inside, and I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked, and the door I opened wide. And there was Sam looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar, and I swore a smile he could smile, and he said, "Please close that door. It's fine in here, but I'll greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lads have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge that I cremated Sam McGee.